Stephanie, thank you for joining us as the lead attorney at the Family Law Self-Help Center. That pretty much describes what you do, right?
It does. It does. I am the director of the Family Law Self-Help Center, where we provide information, forms, assistance to people who are trying to navigate the family court system without the help of an attorney. So I am sort of the attorney for those without attorneys as best as I can be without giving any advice. We sort of guide them through the court process and try to make it easier to understand for people without the legal training.
Like you say, I mean, most people probably, it might be their first contact with any court. You guys are located in the family court complex, so they can come to you. They get, I presume, legal forms and then maybe some court tips or things like that. Are those types of things, Stephanie, is that?
Absolutely. They come in with all kinds of different questions. For many, it's their very first time inside a courtroom or inside a courthouse, and they're just trying to figure out what are their options. They might be thinking about filing for divorce. They might be having custody problems with the other parent. These days, they might be looking to file for guardianship over a loved one. And so they're not quite sure what they need to do to make that happen. They know they have a legal problem. They know they need a judge to help them with something, but they're not sure how to do that. So we are there to explain the different options. We're there to explain how the laws work, how the court process works, and sort of let them make the choice as to how they want to proceed based on all that information. Once they've made a choice, we have forms that will assist them with many of the different things they might need to do.
It's probably important to note, though, that you cannot give legal advice. You must remain neutral. So someone comes in again with, you say, like a custody case, for example. You can lead them in the right direction, but you can't, I don't know, just kind of explain the best way you can as far as that is.
Right. We have to remain neutral. What we do is we give legal information to people. What that means is we can explain the laws. We can explain the court rules. We can explain the court process. We can give definitions to different legal terms that might be unfamiliar to people. But if somebody comes in and just asks, this is my situation, what should I do? We can't tell them exactly what to do. That is left to lawyers who are representing people one-on-one. If they need legal advice, we strongly suggest that they talk to an attorney so that they can make the best decision based on what the facts of their case is. But we can outline, these are sort of some of the options. These are the ways that people in your situation might think about handling that kind of a case. We have to always remain neutral because I am the only attorney there. Even though I am an attorney, I still cannot give advice to people because the husband might walk in asking questions and then 10 minutes later the wife walks in asking questions. So part of our job is to remain neutral so that neither person walking in has an advantage over the other person. We're not telling them how to win their case. We're just telling them the steps to pursue a case so they can get in front of a judge who can make the ultimate decision.
Is it just to drop in your center and talk about fees and fee waivers if there are available?
Mm-hmm. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. We're open to anybody who wants to come in. There's no fee to access our services. We provide free services, free forms, free information to anybody who comes in to the Self-Help Center. Now, once they're ready to file a case, there are going to be court fees involved to actually file their paperwork. Those fees just range depending on what type of case, what kind of issue they need to deal with. But for many people, they can't afford that court fee. So we do have paperwork that lets them apply to waive the fee. That decision is made by the judges who will review their income, their expenses, their overall financial situation, and determine if they might qualify to file their paperwork without the filing fee.
Now, you and your staff work for the Legal Aid Center of Southern Nevada, the preeminent free legal organization in Clark County, of course. Talk about the partnership between your organization and Clark County to give this free, amazing service.
Well, Legal Aid Center is one of the legal aid organizations in Las Vegas. They provide all kinds of services to people who are in need of legal help. We have a huge team throughout our organization. We have almost 100 employees now who provide various services to people in need of family lawyers, consumer lawyers. We have the Children's Attorney Project that provides lawyers for children who are in foster care and need a voice. What we do is we are the entity that partners with Clark County to provide the self-help center at the family court. The court provides us with the space, the court provides us with the supplies. We provide the staff under a contract with the county in order to provide the full self-help center services there. We do this at family court. We also have a self-help center at the Regional Justice Center where they specialize in largely consumer issues, housing issues, things of that nature.
Yet at one point you do kind of touch on, or at least offer the services of an attorney with Ask a Lawyer. Ask a Lawyer, it's a weekly program, so people that come to the self-help center, that sometimes you'll steer them and then they do talk to an actual attorney that might be able to help them? Absolutely.
As I mentioned, we can't give legal advice to people who are coming in. Often people really need legal advice. They are just in a tough situation and they're not quite sure what direction to go. And a lawyer's advice is really the only thing that's going to get them to the next step. So we do offer a weekly Ask a Lawyer session, which is also free. We offer that to people who really need to talk to an attorney. It provides them with a free 15-minute consultation with an attorney who understands family law issues. We do that every Thursday afternoon at the family court. We sign up roughly 50 people a week. It is one of the biggest and longest running Ask a Lawyer sessions in town. And those sessions, they fill up quickly every week. We start signing people up Monday morning, and by Monday at noon, those spots are generally all taken and filled. But that does provide an outlet for people who need to talk to a lawyer. They're going to get a short advice session. The lawyer can give them their perspective on here's what I think you should do, here's what I think you shouldn't do, here's how to maybe make that happen. Once they've gotten that advice, then they can carry on representing themselves and filing the forms and saying the things they need to say based on what the attorney suggested.
What are the most common reasons that people come to you to seek your help?
Most common reasons people come in are they are navigating a divorce or a custody situation. Either they have no court order in place right now and they need to start the court process to obtain a custody order or a divorce. Or, of course, as we know, family law issues, they don't necessarily end once the divorce ends or once the first custody order comes into play. Many issues arise afterwards, and so they might need to reopen their case a year or 2, 5 later to revisit whatever issues were previously decided. Divorce and custody make up most of what we do, but we also see a lot of people coming in to file for name changes, both for adults and for children. We see a lot of people coming in to file for guardianship, both over adults and over children. Those are the biggest areas we see, and then kind of a little smattering of adoption cases, annulment cases, all kinds of other fun stuff too that keeps us busy.
You would expect most of the guardianships to be with children, but has there been an uptick or an increase of guardianships for adults that can't take care of themselves?
There have been quite a few guardianships filed over adults. Adult guardianships contemplate adults who have become incapacitated in some manner. Usually we're dealing with an older population. As our population gets older, our seniors may need a little extra assistance. Guardianship comes into play when a senior has kind of lost the ability to make a lot of decisions for themselves, and a family member wants to come in and be appointed the guardian to manage their finances, make sure that they're getting proper medical care. Not every senior, of course, needs a guardian, so the judges are very careful to make sure that the protected person, as we call it, who is the subject of the guardianship, really truly does need somebody put in charge. There have been a number of abuses within the guardianship system, so the court is revisiting that procedure and finding ways to make sure that the adults who are the subject of the guardianship maintain their dignity, their rights as much as possible.
And finally, you do have an excellent website that has some great information on it. How can people contact you, or how can people come to the center?
Well, people can come to the center Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 o'clock. We are open to anybody who comes in. We ask that you get there about quarter till 4 so that we can get through everybody by 4 o'clock. If you can't come into the center, we do have a website which has most of our information, just about all of our forms on there. It's located at www.familylawselfhelpcenter.org. From that website, you can learn about the basics of divorce, the basics of custody, the basics of guardianship. You can find all the necessary forms to file a case. And we even have some interviews available, kind of similar to TurboTax, where if you need to file, say, a fee waiver, we have a question and answer series that runs through all the necessary information. Once you've answered those questions, it will automatically populate the forms for you, so you can just print them out and bring them down to the court.
Great information. Thank you for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you.